Thank you very much. And again, I hadn't come here to ask questions. I came here because I'm criticised for not listening. And I came here, and I'm very pleased to see a number of Rackheath residents here this afternoon to try and get involved in this debate, because that's what we need to have, a good debate about this development. What concerns me, though, is some of the points that have been made this afternoon, unfortunately, aren't entirely accurate. As Stephen pointed out, I'm a professional planner, and I have to work with facts, I have to work with evidence, and I have to make decisions based on evidence. And I think it's only fair that where I think things are being said that are inaccurate or are slightly misleading, that it's appropriate I do try and better inform us all as to how I think, based on facts and evidence, is more appropriate. I'll be quick because, as I say, it's not for me. This is SNUB's meeting. It's for you to ask questions of them. But if I can just say a few points in terms of matters that I've heard, just to hopefully give a better picture of what some of the things you said. I was particularly concerned with what David said in his introduction about planners running wild at Broadland. If only I had that power. Rest assured, I don't, and I don't want that power. And I was very grateful to David Hook, and I think a politician from Spixworth, was it? Who defended the role that the professional planning officer has to play. I act on, as I say, government policy and that the decisions that members of my council take. Councillors make decisions, officers act on their decisions, officers advise them, we don't tell them what to do. And certainly over the past 3 years, I haven't been telling them what to do, I've been advising them on how they could go forward. And all the decisions that have been taken, that have moved us through the various planning stages, have been taken by the majority of councillors. So please be assured, officers are not leading or running wild within the District Council. Growth Area Triangle. Now, I think it's very important that we do fully understand what this is, because again, we've had a number of comments made about the Growth Area Triangle, what it's going to end up looking like. I've heard that we're going to have Norwich extend from the city out to Wroxham. That's not correct, and I would encourage you to look at what the Joint Core Strategy is saying. I would encourage you to participate when we do come out later in this year in identifying how the development of this area may take place. I think David referenced the Growth Area Triangle as an area of food producing land of about 4,600 acres. The Growth Area Triangle that was shown on the map is 4,600 acres, but it's not all under cultivation. How can it be? Rackheath sits within it, Thorpe End sits within it. I can tell you that just under a third of that total area is not in agricultural use. So it's wrong to say that the whole area of the Growth Area Triangle is agricultural land. It can't be. Let's be realistic about it. It's also wrong to say it's going to be completely concreted over, because the number of houses that we're aiming to provide within that area does not need to take up the full extent of the area that's been identified. The reason why we've identified the Growth Area Triangle is because it's to identify an area within which development will take place. I'll come on to numbers in a minute.
What talked about is actually, according to the map, going to be an industrial estate, so how can you say you're not concreting over arable land?
I'm not saying we're not concreting over arable land. I mean, I'm not concreting over anything. The development will obviously take arable land, but it's not concreting over it entirely. And that was the point that was being made. We heard Norwich extending up to Wroxham. That is not the case. In terms of the amount of development that's going to take place, I think it is important we do recognise numbers, because numbers, again, keep being bandied about, and they are, unfortunately, always erring on the upper end. We heard David Hook talk about 37,000 new houses being built. The Joint Core Strategy does talk about 37,000 new houses required in the Greater Norwich area, which is Broadland, Norwich and South Norfolk, from 2001 to 2026. Now we're in 2010, So a third of that time has already passed. And it won't surprise you to know that of that 37,000 houses, we have already built 15,000, or we know where the balance of that 15,000 are going to be built. So all we are looking at needing to provide land for across the Greater Norwich area, not Broadland, but the Greater Norwich area, which includes Broadland, Norwich and South Norfolk, is 22,000 houses. So it's slightly different to 37,000.
What about the school?
And if
Anything else you want
I'll
to-
pick up on that. As I say, it's not for me to answer questions today. The council does provide opportunities for you to come and talk to us at our regular surgeries.
No, you
And
don't.
I understand there is an open evening coming up in Rackheath in April where I will be there along with council colleagues, and we'll be more than happy to answer questions there. As I say, I wasn't here to answer questions. It's a SNUB meeting. It's for them to answer questions. Just want to give you some facts, as I would call them, because Can I just finish off?
No,
I just want.
you can. I think you're spinning it, and you ought to be prepared to answer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not going to answer questions, but as I say, it's not for me to say I'll answer questions. All I wanted to do was just to clarify some points so that your questions could be more appropriate. There are some more points I would like to cover though, Steve.
Okay, just make the point. There is a meeting on April the 8th in the Parish Church Hall where I will be joined on the platform with leaders from Broadland District Council and other people who have made the decisions to answer questions like this. Yeah? And I'll be there representing you to make sure that we get the questions we want answered with the facts. Now, I think what Phil is doing now is correcting, and it is very confusing. I have to say, there are lots of different numbers being banded around. And we have to get our facts right if we're going to criticise in public decisions that are made on our behalf. So I'm more than happy for Phil to correct the mistakes. I don't think at this stage it's probably appropriate for him to answer any questions, because that's not what he's here for. He's here, this is a public meeting, he is here as a member of the public, and we therefore cannot deny him the opportunity to say whatever he wants to say. However, I will urge to keep it as short as you can and correct the facts. I'm making some notes of the facts. We will then make sure our questions are tailored around the facts on April the 8th. Okay.
Thank you, Stephen. Again,